Hi, Patrick here from Have Cheetah Will View, and we are here to review the drama suspense slow burn movie Time Now, starring Eleanor Lambert, Claudia Black, Xxavier Polk, Jenny Thompson, and written and directed by Spencer King. Time Now is being released in 2021, though it has sat on the shelf for a couple of years. I'm probably trying to find a distributor for it. That happens. It's normal in independent movies. But it's being released now, and or I could say it's time now for it to be released. And we watched it. It's an interesting movie, and I'll talk a little bit about it here. Jenny is one of triplets, and it's her and her two brothers. One died really young, and now the other one has died in a mysterious car crash. Jenny comes back home from Detroit when she hears about it, and we learn really quick that she has had a falling out with her family. Her brother had some issues before, but it seemed like he was putting his life together. He was working with he was working in music and whatnot, and seemed pretty happy. But you could tell there had been some issues in the past because when Jenny comes home, we see her clash with her mother over the fact that she left and pretty much left him out in the family's eyes out to dry. But Jenny had her own problems to deal with, so that's why she left. Now she's married and she has a child, and she brings the child to Detroit with her while they arrange for funeral services and whatnot, and get some kind of closure. Jenny's very close to her dad, and she's also very close to her Aunt Joan. And so she depends on Aunt Joan for a lot of help when she's back there. The time goes on. Jenny starts wondering about what happened to her brother. So she decides to take a poke around and see what her brother was about at the end of his life. So she starts investigating on her own, meeting his friends, his hangouts, places he'd go to. And she learned that her brother really seemed to be on the up and up. He seemed to be really on the uprise. He had quit drinking, he had supposedly, and now he was working in music. So Jenny starts poking around and seeing, trying to discover who her brother was through interaction with his friends. During the course of this, she starts to slowly learn that all is not what it appears to be, and there's a lot of questions to be asked. And so she starts gently poking around, and the more she learns, the more she becomes alarmed. It seemed like her brother was not driving the car that he had supposedly had been driving when he crashed. And he wasn't drunk. Someone has switched places with him, and Jenny wants to know why. And the trail leads her to probably the last person you would suspect. And during the course of Jenny's investigation, well, one thing leads to another, and she decides to take the law in her own hands. And that doesn't end too well for anybody. I know it's a really short synopsis, because this is a movie that you have to watch, because there's a lot of twists and turns to it, and if you give too much away, you'll spoil it. I don't want to do that. But I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of this movie. First of all, for someone so young, only 22, Spencer King actually wrote a halfway decent script. It needed to be tightened a little bit. You know, it need to be a little bit more tightened, but that's something he'll gain in experience. For the first movie, I'm a little bit forgiving. You know, it's the acting's strong. That's probably the best thing about the movie by far. The acting's strong. Eleanor Lambert really sparkles as Jenny. And I got to give credit and acknowledgement to Xavier Polk, who played Cash. I really liked this young actor. He was really strong in the role. You really liked the character. You felt really bad for him. He really wasn't a bad guy at all. He was not a bad guy. And I liked how King portrayed him as that, as being caught in circumstance. He wasn't malicious. Has it been easy to play into that typecast, but it's not, you know, it's not what it appears to be. Eleanor Lambert as Jenny, for her first feature role, she did really well. She did really well. She portrayed Jenny, you know, with a lot of heart. She definitely is broken. Yeah, she was broken before she gets back home, and she doesn't know how to. She doesn't have any place to place her anger or her grief, and when she finally decides how to do that, well, yeah, this is a really slow burn movie, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a very dark movie. This is not Rays of Sunshine here. Set in Detroit, it's filmed in Detroit. I know, I saw when, you know, Spencer filmed it with the drones and the cameras, I saw a lot of places that I've been to before. Belle Island, Woodward Avenue, let's see, who else? Probably 7 Mile or 8 Mile was there. And, for those who wonder, yes, he does review with me. So the city itself is a character. As Jenny goes to a lot of different places to find out where her brother's been going to. So she goes to a lot of after-hour social clubs, underground music concerts, stuff, places like that. And that happens, and that's in the city. So that's actually really realistic. I thought it was really a nice touch, actually. Spencer he lived in the city for about 5 years. And from what I understand, he really loves the city. And he did his best to put it in a good light. I've lived here for 20 years. I found that actually rather admirable, since I don't know if I could have done that. There are a couple of bumps and bruises on this movie. One being this pacing is really, really slow. I mean, I like a slow burn as much as anybody, but you have to move the story forward just a little bit quicker. Two, I would have replaced the score. The score is really unsettling. It really takes you out of the movie. It's like a low hum, and I know it's supposed to disturb you. You know, like it's like a low humming noise in the background, pretty much for the whole movie, but it takes you out of it. The score is annoying, and that's too bad, because maybe a little bit more, not so much hip hop or rap or anything else like that, but maybe just a little bit more pepped up score would have helped out a little bit here. Maybe a couple of pieces of action, because there really is none. And in this movie needs just a sliver of action. Not much, because it's not that type of movie, but it would have helped it just a little bit. But again, this is Spencer King's first movie. He's learning as he's going. I'm sure he'll improve. He's definitely a director and screenwriter to keep an eye on. So overall, I mean, I watched this movie twice. I liked it more the second time, except for the score. I didn't like the score. I was really impressed with the young cast. They did a really nice job. I want to acknowledge some people that I saw here. Paige Kendrick, Sebastian Beacon, who played the brother. He did a really nice job. Peter Knox, who played the dad. But like I said, Xavier Polk is the one to keep an eye out on. He and Eleanor Lambert had a really good chemistry, and their final confrontation is deeply moving and very tragic. But that's what grief is. Grief is really tragic. However it comes, right? So that's our review for Time Now. I would actually say this movie's rated R. The language is a little bit spicy. Um, Other than that, I would actually put a PG-13. If you took a couple of words out, I would say PG-13. The movie's about an hour and a half long, hour and 30, well, maybe an hour 40 minutes. I think it's an hour 40 minutes long. I do think if you would have tightened it up just a little bit, maybe take out 10 to 15 minutes of the movie, make it just a little bit tighter, it would have moved a little bit quicker. But it's a solid first debut. Debut for Spencer and debut for Eleanor Lambert, and I don't know, and great supporting role turn by Claudia Black from Farscape fame. She's the one name actor in this movie that you will recognize, and yeah, she's solid. She's really good in this movie. All right, that's it for us. Thank you for watching. If you like what you heard, please consider giving me and the Cheetah a sub, and drop a comment down below. I will put the description down, see where you can see the trailer for Time Now, and I'll put the movie database page down for Time Now, and I will put the interview that we did with Eleanor Lambert last week in the description box as well. All right, that's it for us. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, peace.